Hello and welcome to For Wales See Wales. My name is Will Hayward.
I'm Robin Morgan.
I'm Mel and Will.
We're back. We're in the same room to contextualise how long it's been. So, last week, I wasn't here. We're going to come on to the Star Wars stuff in a minute.
He can't wait.
Yeah,
he
I know.
couldn't wait.
He dropped us a message immediately when the episode went out saying, you're getting Star Wars wrong.
Yeah,
It was the only way to stop my eye twitching.
Yeah.
So, we had the 100th episode. We had the Wellbeing of Future Generations Commissioner. Some of those generations might have been born. It's been so long since we've been in the same room. So it's basically been 3 weeks since a month since we've all been in the same room together.
Or at least done a normal ep. If there is such a thing anymore, we're so diverse that what is a normal ep for us?
What is life? Welcome back. It's nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you. Thank you for being gentle with me while I was away. I hated it.
Daryl did a very good job in the edit. He cut out all the awful stuff we said about you.
Me going, and another thing.
It was a 3-hour episode before Daryl got his masterous hands on it.
I will say, I'm not a laugh out louder when I listen to podcasts,
Yeah.
but I did laugh out loud at Mel Starfader.
Thank you so
It was
much.
just out of nowhere.
It was imagine that being a metre away from your face
It
when
was
it was
so
happening.
fucking unsolicited.
Yeah, but I think it was basically a casting calls we put into the film, right?
No, yeah, there's been no talk of who's going to be dubbing Darth himself. Who else could it be now? Do you know what? It's going to have to
Who
be.
else could it be?
Who else could it be?
Show me a better audition.
In
than
a country of 3 million people.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm sorry, Matthew Reese, you had your chance.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
Like I said to Robin at the time, something really came over me. I didn't think, this is why you think before you speak, right? Because I did it without thinking, and now a lot of listeners and viewers are scarred. And you're welcome.
I don't think scared. I think everyone enjoyed it. I enjoyed it greatly.
Oh, cool. I'm glad.
Where were you? What were you doing? Why are you back?
I went to Pembrokeshire a couple of
Nice.
times to Pembrokeshire. Had a little boat trip around Ramsey Island.
Beautiful.
Ooh, see any dolphins? Dolphiny-eyed?
Didn't see any dolphins. I saw lots of seals.
Yeah.
I saw some pups. I saw a sunfish, which was should be in much deeper waters because this is a normal British summer and nothing's going on. It's just totally normal.
Do you know what a seal is in Welsh? No, it's a morla.
A morla.
Which is a sea calf because they've got such
Oh,
big
that's cute.
eyes.
They
you
have
know?
got
calf.
massive eyes.
They're
They
so
are-
gorgeous.
They're very
aren't they?
cute.
Do you know what a collective, a group of seals is called?
No.
A club. Move on. It's not. It's a joke because they get clubbed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, shit.
But he's such Mr. Eco that he was like, no,
Mr. Eco.
Mr. Eco.
He was like, that's not even funny, actually, Mel. I
Yeah.
think everything I
Don't
said
even
is
joke
so
about
funny.
that. They're one of the most persecuted communities.
There's a lot of them, though.
God, so many persecuted communities. It's hard
Yeah.
to keep up. So, what are you going to write in the comments about that? Because,
I'm writing it already in my head. I can't wait.
well, to be fair, my alias was slagging off a Star Wars misquote. So, what was it? It was Luke, I am your father, and that's like a misnomer because it's no, I am your father.
But it's somebody in the comments then came back and said at the end of the day, so many people have got it wrong. Really, what is the real quote? Because I agree. Because almost like if somebody said, "No, I'm your father," I would not know that's.
Yeah,
the
but
Star
there was
Wars.
context before.
I do appreciate that this is hurting you, and I will stop.
Out of context, though, it sounds so much like EastEnders. Like, no, I'm your father. Like,
Yeah.
sort of.
You're not my mother.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's essentially that, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
but
essentially that.
You'd have been too young to watch that. At
What?
The time.
No, I remember.
The
it.
Slaters. And
I was young,
Yeah.
but then EastEnders got banned in our house. Yeah, my dad was like,
Why?
there was this is so not, but basically there was a scene where little Mo was going to hit her abuser over the head with an iron.
yeah, Trevor.
And
Yeah.
my dad was like, my dad said he saw me. I was like, little, just like watching it. And I was like, oh my days. And my dad was like, this is not being played in our house.
Wow.
And I never watched it again until I was at
So,
university.
for all you know, Trevor's still alive.
I don't know, big Trev's out there whacking women.
That was a very, very traumatic storyline.
That was a very traumatic
That was
storyline.
back when it was.
And also, I didn't see that actor who played Trevor, who's brilliant, until he was in Chernobyl, I think, with his willy out. So,
Oh, yeah, for balance, my dad did let me watch it. Right. So.
whack that with an iron.
What's been going on in politics, Will?
I do think we should clarify on the Star Wars thing. It doesn't fucking matter whether a Star Wars quote is right. No. I wasn't. I wasn't annoyed on my own behalf. I was annoyed because I know the
Or for the
guys
Darth Vader
who will be
community.
like.
The persecuted community
Yeah,
of Darth Vader
yeah.
fans.
By the way, Siths have a really tough time.
Sure.
I see those stupid ones like that army. They're just fucking useless and just wander around like, like shooting, but just get shot everywhere.
Okay. For the audio listeners, Mel is doing an impression of a battle droid.
Oh, sorry.
One of the most persecuted communities.
Politics, Will.
Let's do it. We are in the middle of what is known as silly season. And that is a journal.
You could tell by the last 10 minutes of this podcast.
I mean, that was high quality content, I think you'll find. But this time of year, politicians have all pissed off to. We've done where do Welsh politicians go?
Yeah. Well, they've returned from Steady G.
Yeah.
Some of them are in Bath, just
Living.
Not in their own homes.
not in their own homes. But journalistically, it's annoying because there's less stuff to report, but it's also exciting because you get to report on stuff you wouldn't normally have time to dedicate time to. I'm going to very briefly talk to you guys about a bridge. The Menai Bridge.
Oh.
Not the one over troubled waters.
Not
Wow.
Is it?
Wow.
well, the waters are under a troubled bridge because. Oh God, fucking hell!
That was good. He's recharged. You can
I have. You guys have been to Unismon.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have, yeah.
You will have gone over one of two bridges. You will have gone over the Britannia Bridge, or you've gone over the Menai Suspension Bridge on your way to it if you went in the car. This has been a kind of ongoing saga in North Wales for some time. So do you know about the closures and all the madness around it?
In the most mellowing quote ever, I know how it's affected me. When I've been to gigs
That'll be on our epitaph.
Yeah.
This has affected me. When I've been going to gigs or Eisteddfod yr Urdd was up there this year and it was like the traffic, how was it going to get there?
Yeah.
This, that and the other. So, and also I know people who live on the island. It's a bit like the traffic trying to get off the island is horrendous, right? When the closures are happening.
Yeah, exactly. And this bridge is 200 years old. So pretty old for a bridge, pretty old for a person, pretty old for a tortoise.
Yeah. It's an old bridge.
The challenge with it is it's one of the main arteries going on and off the island. It's not just vital for the people there. So 13,000 people a day use the bridge and there's 70,000 people on Anglesey. Now, I'm not suggesting that all that 13,000 are all people who live on Anglesey are using it, but it is a really, really important thing. It's how people get to work. It's how people get to school. It's how people get to the doctors. It's really, really important. And it's also really important for the wider UK because Holyhead is the second biggest ferry port in the United Kingdom. And if you close that bridge, then everything has to go over the Britannia Bridge, which creates really long tailbacks. I know what you're thinking. Outstanding bridge content here. But back in 2022, the bridge was closed after some issues with it were found. I mean, 200 years old, you're getting a bit, you're going to struggle a bit. Now, since then, a weight limit has been put on the bridge.
Okay.
So basically, a 7.5 ton limit was put on this bridge.
So 7.5 tons. What's that in new money? What are we talking? what?
70 bushels of wheat.
No, like, how big a truck would is this an articulated lorry? Would a nice Volkswagen Tiguan be able to go?
I'm going to be honest with you, Robin. I haven't prepared well for this. 7.5 ton truck, 7.5 ton. So an unladen articulated lorry.
That's
so
what I was going to ask. Thank you.
Nice. So one that hasn't been laid would be between 13 to 17 tons.
Wow.
So the limit is well below, and this is, I think these are unladen trucks.
Yeah,
so
no.
you put something in.
Imagine lading that.
So basically, if a truck which is over 7.5 tons goes over the bridge has to be closed because they have to check that it's still safe.
Wow.
Like in my mind, a bridge falling down is pretty bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some would say suboptimal, and I don't use that lightly.
No.
The way this is policed, there is a person at either end.
Stop
of
it.
Well, there's a person who polices the way to
Bridge blokes are some of the most persecuted communities in the UK.
If you want someone to be checking weights, just get a woman's mother to stand on either side and see. You're looking well.
Good Christmas, was it?
So the way they do this is they have two people at either side of the bridge and they have high vis and a hard hat and they basically just flag down things that look like they might be over the limit.
Heavy.
And they go, are you over the limit? Well,
Fuck off, is that the system?
that is the
Will's been to Weight Watchers.
Right.
And that's what he's
this
mistaken.
is the system. This is the system. There is
going, that looks a bit heavy.
basically, and then the truck has to go, oh no, I'm this much. And so, and then
scales
but,
then.
But to be
in front of
clear,
Sharon.
these enforcers actually have no enforcement powers. They can't prosecute. They can't actually stop anyone doing it. So if a truck driver just drives over,
but where are they? Are they just in the middle of the lane? Whoa! Because and then they're like, what? No, we'll go over and turn around. Then they've driven over it twice. This is not the system.
They have no actual legal powers to stop vehicles. There are cameras, but they're checked after the fact, so it doesn't actually stop anyone using it. So
I'd love this job.
Well, a few weeks ago, a driver used the bridge after saying that their vehicle was 6.8 tonnes, but it later transpired it was 15 tonnes.
Oh, wow.
Which was over double the limit, so the bridge had to be closed.
We've all done that at the airport, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely under the weight limit, and then you check it on, it's like, I hope they don't notice the thing. You're just sort of putting your elbow over
my truck does not fit in the overhead lockers. We're going to have to put it in the hold. It's a bit of a nightmare because sometimes the bridge will be closed like 3 times a day.
This is not a system. Robin hates this so much.
I say it's funny. It's funny until it directly affects your life and ruins.
It affects Mel.
Yeah.
Yeah, until it's funny until it affects Mel.
Yeah.
So, just last week, so last Saturday, there was it was the bridge's 200-year anniversary. So, would you like to have a guess about how they celebrated the 200th anniversary?
Oh, I don't know.
Shut the bridge.
Oh, on the actual day.
They did a procession, a vintage rally with some live music, some food, drink, and a guided walking tour of the bridge. The comments were very funny. One person said, "Is this a joke?" Another person said, "Are you serious? Is this April Fool's?" Someone else said, "On a Saturday in August." And then someone else said, "Who doesn't want a day off on their birthday?"
Wow, yeah, no, that's fair enough.
It's tone deaf, isn't it? And I how much do people love this bridge enough to be like, should we gridlock our island for the procession? Or should we just, I tell you what will be a great celebration, it working.
Yeah, that's good.
Why don't we all drive over it?
I should also add, the company that runs this, and we're going to come on to this fact that this is managed by a company, not by the Welsh government. That's why we're talking about this. The company that manages this, UK Highways A55 Limited, has actually taken some of the operatives off duty because of the amount of abuse they're receiving from people. Because it's a horrible job.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
You're like people in a rush, annoyed, and you're there going to have to go, how much does your vehicle weigh?
Yeah.
So
it's 5 tons. It's 5. Clearly, the bridge is sinking into the water. It's 5 tons.
It's run by this company. Now, the deal with the company was signed in 1998, so just before devolution, and it's a 30-year contract. And the reason that I mention this is because over the course of the 30-year contract, this company is going to be paid £400 million for managing the bridge, the Britannia Bridge, and some like kind of nearby roads. There's a hell of a lot of public money has been spent, and this is through. We talked about PFI before. So it's a PFI is basically private finance initiative where a lot about happened during like the Blair years, where basically government would be like, we want a school. We don't want to spend loads of money on a school. What we'll do is we'll say to a company, build the school for us, and we'll pay you £20 million a year for like 50 years. And so initially you don't spend much, but over the course of like the next decades, you spend much more than if you just built it yourself.
It's like Klarna.
It is. It's exactly like
Policy Klarna.
It's policy Klarna. It's how I get my settee.
There we go.
The frustrating thing about this for people is, what are we actually getting for this enormous amount of money that we're spending? The company has made, over just the last 10 years, £35 million in profits, which is frustrating given the amount of time that the bridge is shut, isn't it? The most annoying thing about this is that £400 million, the amount that's been spent on this management company, actually is the estimate for how much it would cost to build a third bridge over Menai.
So when this contract ends in 18 months or so, what's the plan then? Are they going to put it out for tender again, or is the Welsh government going to go, no, it's our job now?
Well, Plaid have basically said that there needs to be a proper solution to the issue around getting on and off the island of Anglesey, because
Kareen.
Yeah,
nothing else.
Well, we say this, but actually having people who make decisions directly affected by problems does tend to mean. I'm not saying that Plaid are only interested in this because the First Minister lives on Anglesey, but
this is a positive of having a First Minister who lives in the North of Wales.
Yeah, definitely. And like I imagine if this was a Cardiff issue and the road from Cardiff to Penarth was closed 3 times a day.
Or the Severn Bridge.
Yeah, or the Severn Bridge, exactly.
The uproar.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be kind of tolerated. So I wanted to highlight this because I think it shows that actually I think certain parts of Wales probably get a bit of a raw deal when it comes to attention and funding. But also because the reason why, now this was pre-devolution, but the reason why Wales has had to rely on things like PFI, even though in Wales it's not always called PFI, the reason we've had to rely on stuff like that is simply because we don't have the ability to just borrow money normally. We have to go to companies, and obviously they have a much bigger markup than if we just borrowed on the open market. So this is kind of how the system kind of sets up an environment where Wales spends much more on something than it would do if it was properly equipped. So actually, if we let Wales borrow, it would actually save money.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you could go to a bank rather than a payday lender, that kind of thing.
There is going to be a meeting over the next couple of weeks with Deputy Transport Minister Mark Cooper is holding an emergency meeting with the company, local authorities, Trunk Road agents. Ooh. Yeah. North Wales Police to try and resolve what's going on and find like a kind of proper long-term solution. So we will report on that when we get more.
Well, pub luck to everyone who lives on the island. I hope they get it all sorted and ideally a third bridge. That's the solution, right?
Do you want to talk about something funnier?
Go on.
Would you like to talk about a man who... Would you like to talk...
I'm very Morgan Freeman all of a sudden. Would you like to talk about a man?
Don't.
They said Dr Squeegee was a good man.
So offensive.
So funny.
Hollywood actors are some of the most persecuted communities.
they are.
They've had it, especially the men.
Yeah.
They've had it rough
It's
of
a
late.
witch hunt.
You just don't know who to trust.
Okay, we're going to move on now, and we are going to talk about the fact that a doctor is out of the job. Okay, so some news. Dr Squeegee, DJ Dowster, the bald Clark Kent, his words not mine.
Yeah.
Repeatedly, his words not mine, is no longer employed as the Chief of Staff for Reform UK inside the Senedd. David Thomas, Torvine councillor, who we have covered a fair bit.
An interesting man.
An interesting man. Yeah, DJ Dowster, Dr Squeegee, he is no longer the Chief of Staff for Reform.
What's happened?
Well,
His beats were too sick.
potentially his beats were too sick. Correct, Mel.
He coughed on the beat and the beat got sicker.
So
Will, we now go to Will Hayward reporting on the scene. Will, is this true?
I can confirm that the beats are very sick.
We're hearing reports.
Back to you in the studio, Robin. Dr Squeegee, who first came to our attention when he pretended to open a branch of Lidl, even though he hadn't been invited to open a branch of Lidl. He just took some scissors and cut a ribbon.
That's iconic, isn't it?
Imagine being the people in Lidl being like, sorry, what's going on outside? Who's that man?
Yeah.
Who's that man beatboxing with a pair of scissors? Do you know what? It is quite iconic behaviour. It's very Partridge.
Oh right, yeah.
Very Partridge.
Oh
you know?
yeah, no, it is, isn't it? Opening a beef eater.
Yeah.
On the Norfolk coastline.
So, issuing a statement, Reform praised the work of Mr. Thomas and said that he was only in the role on an interim basis, was helping build the party's team and support newly elected MSs. During the summer recess, the group appointed a permanent chief of staff, and David has now returned to his role as head of Wales for the party. Group leader Dan Thomas thanked David personally for his support and contribution and wished him every success in his continuing role at Reform. So ultimately, I don't really care who's chiefs of staff within parties generally.
And what would a chief of staff do? What would be their role within the Senedd?
A chief of staff ultimately is essentially the head cat herder.
Right.
It's a really, really powerful position. It's like making sure that everyone is on top of the lines that the party want to put forward. It's about managing people. It's about managing kind of egos, which, is a thankless task.
And why is that different to chief whip, for example?
So a chief whip will be a elected member. So an MS will be the chief whip, and they will be making sure that everyone in the chamber is voting the way that the party wants them to make sure they stay on message. The chief of staff will also do stuff like media strategy. It's a very kind of all-encompassing role.
Big role.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised that Dr Squeegee has left his role. Firstly, full credit, Nation Cymru broke that story about him stepping down. He is going to another role working for Jason O'Connell, who is a MS within the Senedd. Now, everything I hear about reform within the Welsh Parliament is that it is not a happy ship.
Oh, really?
No. So late July, I reported on a story that there was to use a quote from the sources, a heated discussion between Chief Whip Clear Powell and some other Reform MSs. Now,
So Clear Powell is Chief Whip.
Clear Powell is Chief Whip. He's known as Welsh Dave by Farage. We've talked about him a lot in the past. He originally ran unsuccessfully in the Caerphilly by-election. And he is like uber Farage loyalist. Like drinks the Farage Kool-Aid, absolutely just like, he's a true believer.
And yet Farage can't even learn his own name.
No, I mean, it's a very complicated name. I mean, it's
that one syllable.
He has become quite a divisive figure within the Reform group, because we've talked before that you can kind of, I think, put Reform into three kind of categories, their MSs. You've got the ones who want to get some stuff done. The ones who are like, we can see things aren't working in Wales, and they saw Reform as a really good vehicle for doing that. You've got the super ambitious who are see Reform as a vehicle for advancement, personal advancement. And then you've got like the true Faragists who have really kind of dominated the party since Farage came back just before the 2024 election. Clear Powell's in that group. He's really rubbing up the wrong way, that first group. The people who basically, we could call them the more sensible ones.
Okay.
I think. So they've accused Mr. Powell of showing favouritism to certain members. So there's clearly been some MSs within Reform that have been put up to talk more than others. It's just something that it's very, someone who watches the Senate every single week, you see that. I mean, there's some which probably shouldn't be put up as much. If you want to Google Gareth Beer question, if you want to see why some of them probably shouldn't have been put up as much as they have been.
And is it Clear Powell who chooses who gets to, like, why can't a Reform MS who wants to sort of, talk about the thing that they're passionate about, why can't they just get up and go,
Yeah, well, they absolutely can. They can submit their own questions, but the party is very dictatorial, which is surprising for a group of free speech absolutists. But what you're seeing, I think, in Reform is they're under pressure because, as we've said, they are even the ones who see Reform as just a vehicle for winning, their polling numbers aren't looking as good anymore. And sources have told me that some of the local branch meetings that we've spoken about before, they've gone down from like meetings of like 100 people down to just like half a dozen. And part of what David Thomas's role will be is to try and revitalise the kind of branches within Wales ahead of a future general election. But it is really, really I've had people from within the party telling me that there's been like full on like shouting matches within it.
I mean, this comes as no surprise, does it? Like, it literally comes as no surprise. I think in the few predictions eps we've done, all of us at some point have said that, there'll be so much leaving, collapsing, this, that and the other due to infighting. Like, their biggest challenge was not going to be to win, it was to maintain. I'm not saying, that hasn't happened yet, but I mean, none of this is like, shock. When you've got a party built on selfishness, ego, and self-interest, and not a common belief of what this whole party stands for, it's not going to survive.
Well, one person certainly had enough. James Evans. Did you see his long goodbye?
He's standing down
in the next election.
In the next 10 years. In the next 50 years, he's no longer going to be an MS.
In 3 years and 10 months, he is going to not stand as an MS.
And why... we saw lots of Labour MSs do this ahead of the last Senate election. Why is he taking such a long run up at this goodbye?
To keep himself relevant in the conversation, do you think?
Do you think so?
I think he might have wanted to be like, I haven't been in the news for a little bit. Shall I drop a bit of news?
Sure.
And then everyone was like, what do you want?
Well, he is citing the fact that it's that politics puts pressure on kind of like family life.
Go now,
and stuff
then.
Like that.
Oh, is it that bad? Is it? Go now. Am I being a dick though? Like, if that is the reason, which I can completely understand, and and he did speak when he was on the podcast about the kind of horrible things that happened to him, and he still stood again, and it's happening now. Okay, some would say it's the consequences of his own actions and words, but not me. Yeah. But if it is that bad, tell us then. nobody kind of cares right now. Could you just do your job, maybe, mate?
It's like
Would that be all right?
it's like the captain of the Titanic going, I'm going to move away from that iceberg in 3.5 years. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start steering in 3.5 years.
I will. Not now.
Not now, but I've announced
I will be.
Interesting about the relevance thing. I mean, maybe the reform move wasn't all it's cracked up to be. Maybe he's done that, and maybe he's getting out ahead of it. Maybe he's almost trying to take himself away from that conversation for work after the Senedd. But whereas if you leave a couple of months before the next election, you are the reform guy, whereas he is now, the guy who's only with reform for about 5 years.
I think it's...
And so if he's going, no, that's okay, I'm going to go... It just stops anybody who might have been questioning, was it really worth that big move for him? Maybe.
I wonder if it seems like a less professional outfit than the Tories did for him. Maybe he's sort of woke up and gone, this Kool-Aid smells a bit funny.
I mean, the ultimate aim of him moving, I would tentatively suggest, was because he was guaranteed a seat if he went with reform.
Yeah, sure.
Like, that was like kind of the motivation, and he's got that seat.
I know there's no way of calling this. There's no way of knowing if this is right or wrong, but I think he'd have won anyway. I genuinely think he'd have won.
Tories did well, didn't they?
I think he'd have won.
I think in that mid-Wales and inexplicably near Swansea seat.
He seemed popular sort of locally, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he would have.
Yeah.
But it was guaranteed with reform.
Yeah, no, fair.
So we can only take him at his word that this decision is because of the stress that politics puts on your life. What it also does say to me is it feels a little bit like, please don't scrutinise me, I'm not going to be here forever.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't strike me as, he's an ambitious guy, and it doesn't make you think that he has faith in the long-term direction of the party's in.
Yeah, sure. In terms of the scalps that they got, in terms of defectees in Wales, he was pretty much the biggest one, wasn't he? So yeah, I suppose I wonder how
throwing serious shade at Laura Ann Jones.
Sorry, forgive me, Laura Ann Jones. Forgive me.
Hilariously about Laura Ann Jones today, I saw her railing against how bad it was, all these wildfires. And I was like, if only there was some kind of environmental reason why we were seeing more wildfires and them spreading more aggressively than usual.
If only there was scientific evidence. I mean, who knows? It does make you wonder. And I suppose unless he were willing to come back in 3.5 years' time and talk to us, I suppose we'll never know. But it will be interesting if he got there and was like, this isn't as good as I thought it would be. Or
I would actually like to announce that I am going to stop doing this podcast at some point in the next 70 years.
I mean, go now then, Will.
We've got James ready in the wings, waiting to take over.
Imagine if you replaced me with James Evans. I'd be like...
Be great. James, if you're
Producer
watching,
Darryl looks delighted.
Get in. We'll get you an ice plunge so you can be sort of wet throughout every record.
I want to finish just by talking briefly about the future of how voting and discourse is going to work in the Senedd as we go into the new, I want to say, school year.
Yeah, semester.
Okay, we are quite far removed now from the budget vote which Plaid lost, which in a way is a shame because there's loads that we could go into. I think it's worth very briefly talking about what happened, but from a point of view of what does this mean now going forward? I don't really want to unpack every bit of a debate vote which happened, 3-4 weeks ago. But it also shows why we should never have time off as a podcast.
Very true. Very true.
We should never do it. Basically, Plaid Cymru had a vote in the Senedd to pass a supplementary budget. This did not pass because Labour didn't just abstain, because if Labour had abstained, they could have got it through. They voted against it.
Why was that? Were you going to go on to that?
No. I know.
Okay. I suppose there is the question of, was this for a legitimate reason and they just did not agree with the principles of the budget? Or was there a little bit of them going, oh, you think it's easy, do you, Plaid? How'd you like these fucking strawberries?
Yes.
Not apples. Not apples.
It's summer.
Because we're different.
Yeah, exactly.
Wimbledon madness.
To pass the budget, Plaid either needed the support of the Tories, Labour or Reform. The Greens voted with Plaid. They said they were going to vote with Plaid.
Yeah.
Tories and Reform were never going to vote with Plaid, so it was kind of on Labour if they wanted to.
And Jane.
And Jane.
Would Jane have been enough to get over?
No.
Am I enough?
No.
So long story short, Labour demanded that Plaid allocate more money for ALN, additional learning needs. The reason that there was extra money that Plaid could allocate is because more money was being spent on ALN in England. So that created a consequential for Wales. But it's worth saying that actually England wasn't spending more on ALN. They were just writing off debt that had been accrued through supporting ALN. So there wasn't like more money going to ALN in England. Anyway, Labour had demanded that Plaid spend more on ALN because initially Plaid didn't put any additional money for it in their budget. Plaid agreed to spend £40 million extra a year, so quite a sizable amount of money. But Labour instead wanted £100 million next year. So Plaid wanted to do £120 million over 3 years. Labour wanted £100 million next year. Now, the day of the vote, it emerged that two trade unions, NAHT Cymru and ASCL Cymru, who were like teaching unions, were in dispute with the Welsh government over a pay deal and over ALN. There was protests on the steps of the Senedd, and so basically Labour said, well, we cannot possibly support Plaid Cymru if they are in dispute with a trade union, because this never happened in our 26 years. The vote ended up going ahead and Plaid lost, which meant that budget didn't pass. So we need to start by saying there is 100% a shortfall in ALN funding. Schools are desperate for more money because they are under increased pressure, not just for inflation, but actually more children presenting with needing additional support in their learning. So this is absolutely a problem that needs to be tackled. But it's also really, really clear that Labour saw this as an opportunity to just go, fuck you, to Plaid.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, the partner who's been dumped. That was kind of...
Oh, sorry, you want to come back for your clothes? They're on the fucking fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're on the steps of the Senedd.
A light.
So I also think you can argue that Plaid were genuinely quite naive to this.
Do you feel like they genuinely believed this would pass and it would be fine? Or did they recognise the challenge ahead of them?
I think two things happened here. I think Labour aren't used to being in opposition, and I don't think Plaid are used to being in government.
Sure.
Plaid don't have a majority. Labour are perfectly within their rights to vote against anything they want, to vote in the way they think best represents their voters and the people of Wales. It's also worth saying that the previous Labour government allocated £9 million to ALN this year, and Plaid offered them a 400% increase on that.
Okay.
So Plaid did make some big concessions to Labour, but Labour seemed determined to flex their muscles. And I think there's a wider point to make here. Labour can vote down whatever they want, but ultimately, if stuff is not able to get through the Senedd, then there will have to be another election. Yeah. That is how it works. So you have to appreciate the reality that Labour and Plaid are each other's only options. There's not enough Greens, there's not enough Lib Dems for Plaid to do anything else. The Tories are not realistically going to support Plaid. Reform, there's no way in a million years they're going to support it. So the maths in the Senedd means that ultimately Labour and Plaid need each other if this is going to work. And I think there's a wider point here, and that's around devolution. So both parties need to kind of realise that this is bigger than them. No party has done more than Labour and Plaid to further devolution as a concept, to create a Senedd, to create a Welsh Parliament, to push this idea of Wales having its own democracy. But devolution itself needs to justify itself to the people of Wales. It needs to be making a case that this is actually... This is good. This is a good thing that in Wales we can make decisions. You are competing against people who don't believe Wales should have a democracy at all. Yeah. And actually, there is a responsibility on both Plaid and Labour to make this fucking thing work. Fine. Labour, as you go into as you're kind of reeling from your breakup with the people, with the majority of the Welsh electorate, you want to flex your muscles and go, oh, yeah, Plaid were just taking us for granted. Fine. You can do that. Plaid, you can assume that you are now kings of Wales when actually most people in Wales didn't vote for you. Or you can come together and realise actually there's a hell of a lot of overlap between where you guys both stand. Like, you've got differences, but ultimately you agree on most things. The people of Wales need a Welsh Parliament that works. So get a fucking grip.
Like mature politics, yeah? Can we
Yeah.
just get some mature politics? Would that be all right?
Yeah, but I think that will happen, and I think this is as the first budget vote. I think it was not inevitable, but I can totally see why Labour did this as a way of going, well, actually, we're gonna make sure that you can't rest on your laurels. We are here, and don't act like you've got a majority here because you don't. If they are trying to get some of those voters who on the left, then doing the whole sort of like we're the party of trade unions, that's a way to do it. And I think if Plaid was surprised by that, I mean, obviously the numbers, it was so close, in terms of like, okay, 120 million over 3 years, you go, well, that's brilliant. Why would you not go along with that?
I think Labour were determined for that budget not to pass.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I can understand them wanting to set a precedent as well of, yes, we lost in a very embarrassing loss to this party, but we're not irrelevant. We're still here. And we're not just going to be pushed over either.
Yeah.
We made a demand. You didn't give it to us. So no.
I think it also works for that now. The narrative could easily have been pushed by other opposition parties that like, oh, look, it's still Plaid Labour doing the same old dance. Whereas this actually might work in their favour a little bit of going, well, actually, it's not. Look at us play fighting. Look at us having a little tussle and then a kiss.
Scuffle.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with both of you. I think you're right. I think I get why Labour, from a purely political point of view, did that. But going forward, both sides need to be fucking grown up.
Yeah, we can't do this forever, right? You made your point.
Just fuck already.
The two.
Reformers here in the culture.
That's what you're saying, right, Will? That's your analysis?
Exactly what he said.
I was saying the reformer in the cuck chair.
Yeah.
And,
We read your newsletter. We knew what the headline was.
We knew what it was
I'll get
in
you a
there.
Substack, pal.
Reen says to Ken Skates, just put on some DJ Dowster. We'll settle down.
Lower the mood.
Shall we wrap up?
Let's.
Yes. That felt like a bumper rep.
It did feel like a
I
bumper
think because
rap.
we're all together and we're bouncing and
back.
it's always been great. It's lovely to have you back.
Yes.
Good to be back.
Nice to celebrate silly season with you. This will be dropping on the day of the Clacton by-election. So next week we'll know what has happened. We pretty much know what happened. Nigel Farage will get back in, right?
Oh,
I mean, if he doesn't, we're fucking doing an emergency app. I'll tell you that right
sure.
now.
I mean, there's so many
If the
candidates.
bin wins,
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, emergency lever pulled.
If the bin wins. I saw some news story of like there's so many candidates that like so the polling paper is so long that it's costing even more than they thought it would because there's so many sort of like just like mad independents who are doing it.
I mean, it's Farage will win almost certainly. It's like there's different ways of winning.
Yeah.
So it's like, if my car's there, I'm probably going to be able to climb in the car. But whether I've done it successfully, whether I also shit myself as I do it, is kind of, it's all relative, isn't it? Like,
Really not the analogy I thought you were going with.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you, Manly. It wasn't the analogy I thought I was going to do. But
But you didn't use a Darth Vader voice, so well done.
shit myself in the car.
Yeah, there we go. It's like Richard Nixon.
No, that isn't even a Darth Vader voice. That's my impression of Mel doing a Darth Vader voice.
Yeah.
It's gone very meta, isn't it?
Thank you so much. But we'll be able to talk about it next week.
Indeed.
And see what happens. I've been Mel Owen.
I've been Robin Morgan.
I'm Will Hayward.
Bye.
Bye.